Hello YouTube. With the announcement of the Start Dash banner coming back, it is entirely possible, I'm not putting any odds on it, that Cloud and Squall may get their BT pluses and 90 in rework here, along with Lightning, who should have come alongside Jagron, but eventually got her level 90 alongside these two. Cloud and Squall's 90 rework and BT plus would be a month early. Lightning's BT plus and rework are delayed by about a month and a half, but her 90 would be a month early, but it really didn't make that big of a difference. But we'll go over that when we talk about their kits. Assumptions are being made here. I don't know how I can say that more clearly. I still get people asking, do you know insert impossible thing here, when there is no possible way to know. These updates will come eventually, even if they don't come with the upcoming Start Dash update. This video will still be important when they come around. So, in this video, before you pull in Squall, Lightning, and Cloud on the updated Start Dash banner, I'm going to give you some things to think about for user resources potentially. I play both JP and Global, and I use that knowledge and experience to form my opinions and inform others. While you're here, I want to hear what you're thinking, so go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section. Also, consider subscribing, liking the video, and hitting the notification bell so you don't miss a video. You can also support the channel, $1 for emotes, and I always reply to your comments. We're going to talk about 3 characters, so I'm going to keep it a bit abbreviated because it's not that complicated. Cloud first, my favorite character. His rework in 90 is hilariously simple. He got more brave hits in between his HP attacks, and he has 50% brave gain after each of his HP attacks except the last. This just makes it so he has a super easy time capping his HP attacks. He got more offensive stats too, and EX is finally a real button. With his BT plus, his BT effect got extended to 6 turns. He got more brave cap up for a total of 50% brave cap up, and he got party attack up 50%. Pretty cookie cutter. Cloud is about his utility still. He wants to cap his brave hits, and now he can cap his HP attacks even easier with the refunds. Mostly a quality of life. Missed opportunity for his burst not to be 7 turns for FF7, but I digress. He's still the same launch, delay, paralysis, dispel utility character that he was before. It's just his damage is a lot better and more self-sufficient. Nothing else to really say there. Next up, Squall. Squall is still just a big AoE damage dealer and nothing more, nothing less. He's very good at this. His rework, similar to Cloud, doubled his brave and HP attacks on his skills. LD is now 4 HP attacks. He also recovers 1 of each skill after using his LD. So if you're using him in a burst phase, you want to use the skills first, then pop LD, and then use the skills again. His follow-up also got buffed to be 2 HP attacks. His EX is 4 HP attacks with 20% splash now. Squall has a really high damage ceiling, and I honestly think he's the best of the Start Dash trio to date. His BT plus, his BT effect finally got updated. He has Brave cap up by 50% and HP cap up by 20%, provided he's green. I'm a huge proponent of HP cap because they stack nicely with Ultimate Weapon, so this is actually just a really good effect because Squall already does so much damage. Slap in Ultimate Weapon on him and he's gonna kind of just chainsaw down content for a while. Quite literally one of the simplest characters in the game. Lastly and least, we have Lightning. Theologica, I'm so sorry. Lightning, this is definitely not her time to shine, unfortunately. Speaking of Theologica though, he's going to be doing a ton of Lightning runs, and I know a bunch of y'all who watch me, watch him, but don't be subscribing to his channel. So I'm going to plug him in the description and a card. Please subscribe to this man's channel. Give him some copium. Lightning 2 is getting a rework. A little bit more detail here because she did get some relevant stuff. Lightning, if you're not familiar with her, is a speedy, high turn rate, consecutive turns on break character. Her skills never did that much HP damage, but because she acted so often, she could really overpower bosses. Her rework is giving her splash damage on all of her skills, 20% splash to be exact. The plus versions of her skills now have 2 HP attacks. You get the plus version of a skill by sticking to a stance. She has either Ravager or Commando from both of her skills. Simply just use one of her skills twice in a row. After you've done this, then her other skill will transform into the plus version. You change stances, rinse and repeat. So now the plus version of her Spark Strike skill 1, it refunds harder and inflicts Thunder Imperil. So she has an easier time hitting weakness, although EX and LD already dropped the Imperil, so it wasn't hard to keep that up. And her skill 2 plus now has Defense Ignore. Lightning's level 90 upgrade to her EX gives it an extra HP attack, and she does 20% splash after she's done attacking. Her LD attack now has splash damage, and her LD board now provides a bunch more offensive stats so Lightning can hit harder. Lastly, Lightning's BT plus gave her more Brave cap up for a total of 50% Brave cap up, and when attacking a broken target, you got extra 20% Brave damage for a total of 100% Brave damage up. The duration did not increase. So analysis. Let's see if I can do all three at once and still be coherent. Squall, strength, just unga bunga damage. You really don't need to think when you play Squall, you just press buttons and win. Support him like you would any other DPS and you'll see results. Cloud, while not as high damage as Squall, has the utility in his paralysis, launch, delays, and dispel, provided you have his World of Illusions weapon. Play around his utility and strength and you're in for a good time. Lightning, being the fast turn hogger she is a great driver, similar to Vayne for effects. You can have follow-ups going off in the background, some other effect going off, and Lightning can take full advantage of it because she'll be eating all the turns. Weaknesses, well, Cloud and Squall both suffer from C90 samey syndrome in that they have good upgrades, but they don't really stand out particularly. Don't get me wrong, their damage can look really good provided you've invested, but that applies to a lot of characters, and because they are BT plus units, not fully investing in them will feel bad if you're trying to use them. That's those two. Lightning, Lightning's damage is subpar. She has 2 HP attacks sometimes that are not easy to cap. Other times she has 1 HP attack on her regular skills. The EX is okay damage, and while yes, she is going to have consecutive free turns, Lufenia orbs are a thing, effects going are a thing, and it is hard to justify her damage when you could just press a Squall skill 2 and have a full 100% AoE, and then 2 more splash attacks. Or a Machina burst phase, or a Null EXing every other turn, or a Locke just doing his nutty things. It's a numbers game. And with C90 and everyone starting to cap their HP attacks, HP damage ceiling becomes the limiting factor, and while Lightning does have that speedy aspect of being able to drive other effects and hog turns, etc., you could also just do something like press Strago's EX and get 8 HP attacks. The way the game is trending is more HP attacks, more HP cap, the easier time you'll have in fights because things will just die. It's just simple math. Her on-turn damage, her button presses, have low output. Her finally getting splash damage is nice, but she's really going to be tickling bosses compared to some of the other units. And if you're going to invest in her, you need Ultimate Weapon, Blue, BT Plus fully maxed out, and you're not getting the same returns that you would on almost any other character. You got to work harder to get similar results that you would on others for less investment potentially. So what are my plans? I already have everything on the start dash banner, so I have nothing to pull on, but I am going to green Cloud because I always do, because he's my favorite character. I don't use him that often. I actually don't really like using them that much in this game, but I think I'm going to try and challenge myself too. Just because, I don't know, he's my favorite, you know? Maybe I can finally get over me not liking his kit. Ever since they really leaned into having him delay and launch and all that stuff, it hasn't really been for me because he's been more about launch comps, but, you know, I should have some fun. So I'm going to green him and actually green, blue, and I'm actually going to use him this time. And JP Zac came out right after, and I like using Zac way more, and then I just kind of didn't use Cloud. He still sticks around just fine, and I like Squall, but, I mean, Squall's still the same he has been for like the past 2 years. Just press button, unga bunga damage. Not for me. And Lightning, hard no. For the reasons I just explained. I don't know if there would be an event tied to this, because I don't have a crystal ball, so don't ask me. So let's get right into the end of it. Before you pull, what's my advice? This is from a meta, potentially resource saving perspective. If you already decided, by all means, do what you gotta do. Trust me, I don't care. But for those on the fence, here's some things to think about. Honestly, I can't quite think of a good reason for anyone to touch this banner unless someone's a fave on it, because at that point, again, you've already decided. But if you're looking to like optimize your resources and stuff, I think Cloud and Squall are probably middle of the road. They're serviceable, they can do content for a while, they can do their thing, but I think in the grand scheme of things, they end up being just average investments for now. Who knows what the future holds with their FR and stuff. If you have a lot of gems, I mean, I think it's worth getting all of these characters eventually, because they are all always good at some point. Lightning will come back. Lightning was broken in early Lufenia. Squall really good, Cloud really good at points. But if you're low on resources, I'd say like save up for Ramza and Zac. BT plus wise, Lightning being the absolute worst of the bunch, I super wouldn't recommend investing in her. We're about to see a number of LD only damage dealers pop off, and she's honestly terribly outclassed. If your damage is sufficient and you're not having any trouble clearing content, I see no reason to recommend touching this banner or investing in any of the three, and really it's gotta come down to favoritism, I think. Cloud and Squall will serve you well. Lightning won't serve you as well, but do watch Theologica serve Lightning well. If you're struggling with content, I'd much rather you go for Locke and Ico. Squall and Cloud absolutely outdamage Locke But if you got like Machina or Null and you're doing fine on the damage front, there's not much reason to invest in them. Cloud and Squall might do more damage, but Machina and Null certainly hold their own, especially if Square Enix doesn't want to give any challenging content. Tidus is around the corner as a turn-hogging damage dealer, and he far outclasses Lightning. And then after that, we got Ramza and Zac, who are monsters in terms of support and damage. So yeah, the people who are broke and need to save, I wouldn't recommend you touch this banner. Nor would I recommend investing in any of the three, but there are a lot of people's favorites, including mine, so I'm going to be, like I said, bluing and greening Cloud. That's all I got though. Let me know what you all think in the comments below. I don't know what's going to materialize with this banner stuff. Let me know what you thought about what I had to say. Let me know your plans. Comment, subscribe, like the video, hit the bell, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace.